Ron Walker asked, why aren't they allowing the public at the presser? I have a theory about it. I don't think it's I'm not going to say it's right. I've no insight, but I'm an idiot. No, I have no insight on it personally. I didn't hear anything, but I think it's just the nature of this press conference. I think that's why they're doing it, and I think it's from both sides. I think going into this one, Conor seems to be almost all business. He's not doing a whole lot of media. He's keeping his head down. You haven't really heard from him apart from a few Instagram posts. And apparently he's just living in the gym. Khabib, similar thing. Like, nobody's talking about Khabib right now because I think Conor's the guy who you expect to come out with, you know, all the promos and all that kind of stuff. But Khabib's the same thing. Khabib hasn't really said a word since the fight was announced. He said, you know, I think he sent out a few tweets and a few Instagram things. But apart from that, nothing. And I think that the fact that we're coming into this one after everything that happened in New York, I think they almost like a good director. They want to create this scene of intensity and seriousness and just all business. So they're going to bring it in. They're not going to have fans. They're going to have really good questions, I guess, from the journalists there. And to be honest, I think we're going to get a more reserved Conor, but probably, you know, he's going to go down the lines of, oh, you threatened my friend and you wouldn't come out with a bus and all this. I don't think it's going to be as much bravado. I think it's going to be more threatening feel to it. That's just my theory. I think from both sides they would prefer this in this scenario because of what's behind it. It's not really fun and games. It seems to be a very, very personal. So I think taking this approach where there's no fans there, it's just the people involved with the fight and the media, I think it's a little bit different, a little bit more personable and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I always see the fun and games with, like, some people, like, one of the reasons I don't like Colby is I just think there's no, I mean, actually, I like Woodley's comments on him. He's like, you're 90% faking everything. like at least Chael came out there with, like, an ounce of truth in what he was saying. You know, it's like, it felt authentic.
Sure.
Enough for the BS to kind of float by. But somebody like Conor McGregor, I genuinely see what he's doing is mental warfare, like almost all of it. And I like Darren Till is the same kind of guy. I mean, you see this in a lot of fighters, where, I mean, you see it with the Diaz brothers, like they'll talk shit for real, and they might do theatrics to try to embarrass you, but that's part of the game. Like, I don't think that they're doing it just as like, oh yeah, let's just do this for the public to draw. Like, I think that's a byproduct of what they're trying to do, and perhaps that's the kind of press that they do want to put forward. You know, they want to see their opponent embarrassed and, you know, red faced on the stage, and who the fuck is that guy? You know, that kind of stuff. Like, so I genuinely see it as real mental warfare. I don't really have any, like, I think it's puzzling, you know, to answer the question. I don't really understand it personally. It sounds like your theory definitely could hold a lot of weight, though. You know, it could just be this idea where Conor McGregor, you know, all those rumors of him not wanting to do press, maybe this was the compromise, where it's like, you're not spending any time with fan interaction. You're here to do the press, and then you leave. You go back to training. You go back to doing what you want to do. There is no fan expo, you know, type, you know, scenario afterwards where you're signing a ton of posters for people to sell on eBay, you know, like, and you're doing that for 2 hours. You're there to get in, get out, get back to training. And he was that way for the second Nate Diaz fight. He realized, like, okay, this guy doesn't respond to my mental warfare. He doesn't give a fuck. And he got buried in, like, you know, when he was on, like, MSNBC or CNBC, like the Money Channel or whatever, you know, they were, like, joking about money and stuff. I mean, he was like, you know, get my coffee. You know, he was just saying this crazy stuff to Nate Diaz. Didn't matter. And I think there could be some of that, some truth to that, where he realizes here, it's like, you know, if he is more subdued, perhaps that's why. He realizes Khabib doesn't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't matter. You could say anything to him. You could try to embarrass him. And he's like, just let me know where you are. I'll fight you right now. You know, I'll come meet you in the back lot, you know?
Yeah. And the crazy thing as well is it's going to be the first time that they came face to face after what happened in New York. So the only real, I guess, question, apart from, you know, are you looking like, you know, fight related and the actual event, is like, since what happened, like, what's the story? What's the crack with McGregor? What's your thoughts on what went down in New York? That's the real kind of big question going in. And I don't really think you need to add too much more fuel to that fire. I think if McGregor's going to come prepared to answer that question, whatever way he's going to answer it. So I think that's what people are waiting on.